What is a multiplier? Well, a multiplier is a quantity by which a given number, the multiplicand, the given number is called the multiplicand, is to be multiplied. So let's take an example to explain this. So suppose I have the number 6 and I want to go to the number, let's say 18. What do I need to multiply the 6 by to go to 18? Well, clearly I need to multiply by 3. In this example here, the 6, the given number that is being multiplied, the given number that is being multiplied is the multiplicand. This is the multiplicand. And the number, the quantity that I am multiplying by is called the multiplier. And the answer that I arrive at is called the product. So let's write this down. So this is the 6 is called the multiplicand. The 3 is the multiplier. And the 18 is the product. Dividend, divisor, quotient. What do we mean by these terms? Let's take an example. Suppose we have a division. Let's say we have 35 divided by 5, which is equal to 7. The number to be divided, the number we are dividing into, this is called the dividend. The dividend. The number we are dividing by is called the divisor. And the result we obtain, the answer we obtain, is called the quotient. Now, why do we need to know these mathematical terms? Why? The reason is so you can precisely and concisely explain your thoughts and ideas. Now, I want you to visualize the dividend, divisor, and quotient. Suppose we have a pack of 6 balls. So we have 6 purple balls here, and I ask you to equally divide it into 3 equal groups. So I ask you to divide these 6 balls into 3 equal groups. Now, if you were to divide this pack into 3 equal groups, then clearly you would divide it like this, 3 equal groups. Now, here, the pack of the 6 balls, 6 is your dividend, because that is the number we divided into. That is your dividend. The number that we divided by, I ask you to divide it into 3 groups. 3 is your divisor. And the answer you got, the number of balls I have in each group, is your quotient. So this is now a visualization of the dividend, divisor, and quotient. Now, suppose we have a fraction. Let's say we have the fraction 2/5, 2/5. Now, we know, you have been taught, that the top number is called the numerator. And the bottom number is called the denominator. But what I'm also teaching you now is that the top number is also the dividend. It's also called the dividend. And the bottom number is also called the divisor. Why? Because every fraction is actually a division. So when I have 2/5 here, 2/5 is actually the same as 2 divided by 5. Okay, so what's 2 divided by 5? Well, we can do the bus stop method. Remember, inside the bus stop, the dividend goes inside the bus stop, the divisor goes outside of the bus stop. How many 5s in 2? 0. We put the decimal there, and we put some zeros there. How many 5s go into 20? Well, it's clearly just only 4. So the answer is 0.4. So here now, 0.4 is the quotient. So here next to the fraction, 2/5 is equal to 0.4, and 0.4 is the quotient. Suppose I have a multiplicand of 6 and a product of, let's say, 18. Now I ask you now, what is the multiplier? What is the multiplier here? How would we work this out? Well, all you need to do is if you divide the product by the multiplicand, we can work out the multiplier. So what is 18 divided by 6? Well, 18 divided by 6 is just 3, so the multiplier here is 3. Now let's take another example. Suppose I have the multiplicand 12 and a product of, let's say, 108. What is the multiplier here? Now once again, to work out the multiplier, if we just divide the product by the multiplicand, we can work out the multiplier. So what's 108 divided by 12? Well, the answer is 9. So the multiplier here is 9. Now, suppose we have another example where my multiplicand is 5 and my product is 3. What is the multiplier here? Well, again, use the same steps. I divide the product by the multiplicand. So if I do 3 divided by 5, now you notice something here. Now you see that this is a proper fraction, and the answer will obviously be a decimal. Now, what do we do here? Well, the multiplier does not necessarily need to be a whole number. It does not necessarily need to be an integer. It can be a fraction, it can be a decimal. So we can write the multiplier here as 3/5 because it is in its simplest form. Now we could have written it as a decimal, and we could have written the multiplier as 0.6, but either way is fine. Now, does this work? If I multiply the multiplicand 5 by the multiplier 3/5, do I get the answer, the product of 3? Well, yes we do. How? Well, 5 divided by 5 is just 1. 1 times 3 is 3. Now, I understand that some of you are more comfortable with writing the 5 over 1. So when I have 5 times 3/5, if I write the 5 over 1, what's 5 times 3? 5 times 3 is 15. 1 times 5 is 5. 15 divided by 5 is 3. So clearly we get the product of 3 when the multiplier is 3/5. To make an omelette which serves 2 people, you need 3 eggs, 1 onion and 2 peppers. Aisha wants to make omelettes for 12 people. How many eggs, onions and peppers will she need? Well, let's write this down. So, serving. So when you want to serve 2 people, because it says here, serves 2 people, an omelette which serves 2 people, you need 3 eggs, 1 onion and 2 peppers. So for a serving of 2 people, you need, we write the number of eggs here, you need 3 eggs, onions, 1 onion and peppers. You need 2 peppers. Now, Aisha wants to make omelettes for 12 people. So now the serving now has become 12. So she wants to make omelettes for 12 people. Now, you see now here, it is a multiplier question. Why is it a multiplier question? Well, I had the recipe to serve 2 people, but now I need the recipe to serve 12 people. So from 2, I need to get to 12. So effectively, 2 is my multiplicand and 12 is the product, and I need to work out the multiplier. How do I work out the multiplier? As I showed you earlier, if I divide the product by the multiplicand, I get a multiplier here. 12 divided by 2 is 6. So the multiplier here is 6. Now we need to multiply all of the other ingredients by 6. So we keep the same ratio for the recipe. So we multiply all of the other ingredients by 6. So for eggs, 3 times 6 is 18. I need 18 eggs. Onions, 1 times 6 is 6. And for peppers, 2 times 6 is 12. So I've answered the question now. The question said, how many eggs, onions, and peppers will she need? Well, she needs 18 eggs, 6 onions, and 12 peppers to serve 12 people.